All right, hello wine drinking people. Today is Thursday, July 1st. And we got a short week this week, just one tasting last night, which we're going to review, our summer white tasting. And then we got a couple great events on next week, which the subject of our email today, our Soder tasting and our vintage Brunello tasting on Friday, which is sold out. So vintage Brunello seems to be a popular subject here at the Wine Watch. Now for what I drank yesterday. But first, what I drank yesterday. What I drank yesterday section of the show, and that's what we're doing right now. What I drank yesterday. Now time for what I drank yesterday. All right, so what did I drink yesterday here in the store? Well, we did have a couple suppliers in the store. Mr. Steve Sink from Steakhole stopped by with some really good stuff. We started out the day with a little Block 9 Pinot Noir. For an inexpensive Pinot Noir, not bad. California appellation, so the wine grapes come from all over California, or they can. And I think they did this to make a consistent product every year to be able to use juice from this appellation or that appellation. So I'm sure most of it comes from either the north or the south. The Russian River Valley, the Sonoma Coast, or Santa Barbara, Santa Maria Valley, those regions. But like I said, for sake of a continuous product, just the California label. A lot of nice berry fruit. Not a lot of complexity here, but pretty simple, pretty pleasant, and a nice little Pinot at under 15 bucks. Okay, then we had a little Primitivo and a little Chianti Classico from Bastioni, which, by the way, we have a couple of these wines. We still got wine. It's still open here. If any of you guys would like to stop by and try them, they are open in the store. And then the Super Tuscan Tenuta Collazzi, and this wine was pretty good. A little expensive, 50 bucks. Your Bordeaux style varietals in Tuscany, very popular. I tend to prefer Sangiovese. You know, that's the great red grape of Tuscany. They make Cabernet, Merlot, other Bordeaux varietals in a lot of other places and do it at a very high level. But they do some pretty good Cabernet blends. Hey, here's one of the best, Sassicaia, right behind me. But the real stars of the show for Steve yesterday were these BlackBird Vineyards wine. These wines were very elegant, had a lot of finesse, a lot of length. Very big wines, even though they're Merlot-dominated wines. That's right, folks. Merlot does make some of the world's greatest wines. Have you ever heard of Saint-Emilion and Pomerol? Merlot-dominated blends. These wines are Merlot and Cabernet Franc. From the owner of Oak Knoll Vineyard, the famous Oak Knoll Vineyard that sells fruit to a lot of big names in Napa Valley. These wines are not cheap, but they are outstanding, right around $100 a bottle for the Paramour and the Illustration. I believe they do make a third wine. We didn't have that yesterday, but again, these wines are open in the store. Okay, our next supplier up was Florent from Wineberry, and Florent's visit was short and sweet. Just a few wines, most of them, all of them French. Lafon Rosette, something that's becoming very popular, a rosé from Lafon Rocher, the first Bordeaux from the 2009 vintage to arrive. Yes, that's right, folks, the 2009 vintage Bordeaux's here. Just kidding, the rosé's here. But a nice little wine, maybe a little bit expensive, lovely strawberry, red cherry fruits, some fresh earth notes to that. And really nice, great for the summer. As I mentioned in the tagline of yesterday's email, we probably should be sending out emails on rosé wines. But hey, if you want them, they're here. And we do have some great choices from France and from this country and from really all over the world in the rosé category right now. Okay, then a little Côte de Rhône, a subject that we have been on to, the 07 vintage. This wine is 08. 08's a very good vintage for the Rhone Valley also. Typical garrigue quality, a little bit of that floral and herbal, and then your lovely berry, fresh berry pie fruit. One of the things that makes these Southern Rhone wines so appealing is that lovely fruit that they have. A really nice little wine, around 15 bucks. And then a little Moulin de la Roquille, Côte de Bordeaux. And the only problem with Côte de Bordeaux is, man, I can sell you Medoc wines for about the same price, or 15 bucks. Try the Grand Maine from the Medoc. This wine was not a bad little wine, but the Grand Maine is smoking. One of Bernard Magres's wines. Okay, and then we've got a little Mount Tabor Chateauneuf du Pape, which this wine was from the 2007 vintage, a great vintage in the Southern Rhone. This is a historic property. Some Pony Express station was stationed at this property 100 years ago, 200 years ago, and they had been producing wine here for several hundred years. This is the first generation of the family to start bottling their own wines, and the wine's very exciting. exciting. So again, lovely red berry pie fruit, that a little more intense in this wine, a lot more of that garrigue, that floral and herbal note to it that the Southern Rhones are so well known for. And very big wine. These 2007s are big. They're going to last for 10 to 15 years at least. A nice little wine at under $50 a bottle. Okay, and then Liz Sedia, Slushmeyer-Sedia, was in the store to finish off the day with a few wines from Marchesi di Barolo, one of the large producers in the Piedmont. We had a nice little Gavi, very fresh and clean. The Barbera Ruvi, one of the best values in Barbera, very light, very easy to drink, but still that textbook acidity you get in Barbera to freshen things up. And then a little Dolcetto, not my favorite wine in the world. You won't find too many of Dolcettos on the shelf here at the Wine Watch. Hey, you can buy Barbera for the same price. Why would you drink Dolcetto? Barbera is a much better grape varietal. All right, and then last night, you know that we had our summer white tasting at Cafe Max, thanks to the dozen or so people that attended. Small group. Small means better for you, the tasters. You get to drink more. But, you know, whenever we do a white wine themed tasting, it seems to go that way. Thank you, JT and Pat, for helping out with the pouring. You got all the notes on the wines here on the email. And then you know I'm going to have wine with dinner. And last night, Tony was cooking sushi. So sushi is very good. And other Oriental food with Pinot Noir, because you know, with all that white wine to start, then I'm having some red here. And this Etude Pinot has been written up several times in the What I Drank Yesterday. Hey, people, get a clue. If I'm drinking it at home, it's good and it's an outstanding value. Just have a little bit of this left. And then the Leon Boral Fougères, one of my favorite wines from the south of France. Fougères is actually the name of the appellation. There's also a famous chateau in Bordeaux called Fougères, so don't mistake the two. This wine is a blend of all the five main Rhone varietals: Syrah, Counoise, Mourvedre, and So. And this wine is beautiful. It speaks volumes about the place where it's from. 100% biodynamically and organically farmed. This is the best value I have in the store at $15 a bottle. If you like wines that are interesting, that speak volumes about the place where they're from. And then a little 2001 Rusden Black Guts Shiraz. Thanks to my buddy Dave. Great stuff. We waited till after dinner to drink that. And that's what I had to drink yesterday. I'm your host, Andrew Lampasone, signing off for the Wine Watch, saying remember, always drink the good stuff first.